Hi guys, my name is Phil. Welcome to PhilDoes3D. I'm a multimedia and 3D artist and I stream on Twitch weekdays from 5 PM Pacific time in the US, 11 AM in Australia and 12 AM in the UK. I've had some problems this morning with OBS, so I've updated it to the latest version 16.5. Hopefully that will fix up any problems we've been having. Just going to double check that I am streaming. Going to load up my chat client. I didn't realize that I'd stopped streaming again, so hopefully you guys are still hanging around. Although I'm not seeing anything on my screen. Oh, there we go. All right. Okay. Let me just reload my chat client again. Yeah, so sorry about that, guys. Hopefully somebody's still watching. We'll keep going. Just going to pause that right there. All right. Let's jump back into Max again. So I don't know how much, I don't know when the stream cut out, but we've just been copying our columns all the way around the outside of the model. So we've got the front section copied, these short columns, and now we're working along the back section. Thanks for hanging around, Galen. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know what the problem is with OBS. It's been fine for me so far, but hey, I bit the bullet. I updated to 16.5. It's the latest version, so let's see how we go now. I'm just going to keep an eye on things though, so if I seem a little distracted, it's just because I'm making sure that everything is still working the way it should. I can actually see my router over in the corner there. I'm going to make sure that the lights keep flashing, and I'll know if it stops streaming because the light will stop flashing. So, all right, let's try it again and keep going. All right, just going to close that one down. Let's grab another column and move it around. So let's grab this one here. Jump into our top viewport. Still streaming, still recording. Good. Microphone's not on mute. Good. Let's make a copy of this column here. I'm sure it's OBS or the NVIDIA driver that's been causing the problems. I did notice though with Twitch, not yesterday, the day before, when I upload my videos, because I upload all of my streams to the upload section on Twitch, it was having problems too. So, and that was because they were doing work, I think, on the highlights videos section of Twitch. The videos were taking a very long time to process once they were uploaded to the Twitch server. So, as of last night, though, it seemed to be working okay. I think the problem really has been the NVIDIA driver and OBS. But hey, we're on the latest version of OBS now, so hopefully that won't cause a problem. It all still seems to be working okay. All right. Let's grab our second column here. Go into isolate selection mode. We will ungroup it. Select the top part and remove it, and exit isolation mode. Okay, let's grab another column. Let's grab this one here. Again, I just jump into the top viewport because it makes it easier for me to see what I'm doing. Well, let's pull this one down as a copy. We'll rotate this one around 180 degrees. Oh, so around like that. Pop that into place. Select our old column, ungroup, and remove. The reason these are all grouped the way they are is because when I created the model, I created a group and then I copied and pasted my way around. And I created the group so I could keep everything lined up and didn't accidentally select part of the column and move it out of place. Okay, just double checking that I am still streaming because I am paranoid. Because last time everything looked like it was fine, but when I checked the stream, it actually said it was offline. So no, I still seem to be online. So I think we're okay. All right. Let's grab another column and move it into place. Let's go with this one on here. I'm going to pull that one down here. I'm also going to rotate this one 180 degrees. And move it into place. So rotate it slightly. There we go. Let's select our old column. Isolate the selection, ungroup the selection, and remove the top part of the column. And end our isolation again. All right. Let's grab this one here. Make a copy of that one. I won't rotate this one 180 degrees. It's around the back of the model here, so you're not going to see those two columns in line of sight. Move that into position. Select our old column, isolate it, ungroup it, and remove parts of it. Okay. I could multi-select the columns and copy and repeat that way, but I want it to be a bit more unique, so I'm just going to do it individually. So let's grab this one here. And copy that one over. I will rotate this one around the opposite direction. Move it into position. Just double checking again, because I have gotten completely paranoid this morning now with OBS. I'll select that column. No, I'm still streaming. That's good. We'll go into isolation mode. And that's the wrong piece of geometry. This one is the one we want. I'm just going to pause my stream here. I don't need to check it now that I know it's still going. Let's isolate that. Let's ungroup it and remove this top column. I'm just going to check my, yeah, that's okay. I'm recording my file here. All right. I'm also just going to reload my chat to be on the safe side. Let's see now. Let's grab this one here, I think. Okay. Copy that one. I will rotate this one around 180 degrees. And we'll position it here. Select our old column, isolate the selection, ungroup it, and delete that. All right, let's grab this one here. Copy it over. We will rotate it around 180 degrees. Oh, just before I do that. Okay, so it's that side. Just needs to be rotated a little bit more. Select our old column, go into isolation mode. We'll ungroup it and select the top pieces and exit isolation. Just 2 columns left to do. I'm just going to do a quick save here. All right. Let's get these last 2 columns copied over. I'm going to grab this one right here. Jump back into our top viewport. And we will copy that one over. I'm going to rotate this one around 180 degrees. We'll move it into position. Select your old column, isolate the selection, ungroup it, and delete. And for this last column, let's select, let's choose this one here. All right, let's copy that one. Again, we'll rotate this one 180 degrees. Pop it over the top of the old column. We'll select our old one here. Isolate, ungroup, and remove the old column. Okay, let's have a bit of a look at our model now. And just by using those 3 different textures and rotating the column 180 degrees in different spots, you're really not going to notice that you've repeated the same texture on all of the on all of the columns. So yeah, it keeps it looking unique. You won't notice that you're using the same textures. If you were doing a render or a fly through where you were getting this close to it as you were moving along, you may want to vary it up a bit more. Generally, people won't render the model like that though. They're going to render it. They'll either render it like this, so it's close, but you're not seeing all the columns at the same time, or they'll render it further back where you're not going to notice that the textures are the same. It just saves yourself a lot of work in individually rendering up every single column. Like I said, if you want to do that, then hey, cool, do it. But I wouldn't, not for a model like this. All right. Again, let's save our model. Thanks for hanging around when you did, Galen. I appreciated it. It's always good to chat to people in the chat. If anybody wants to ask me any questions, is unsure about anything, feel free to pop into chat, even if you just want to pop in and say hello. I always enjoy chatting to you guys. If you just want to lurk and watch, then that's completely cool too. All right, I'll do another shout out to the people that followed my Twitch channel yesterday. I appreciate that. That's Beats Good, Galen Pelez, and Root Cabanas. Sorry if I mispronounced any of your names. I always appreciate it when you guys follow my Twitch channel. So thanks. All right, let's see. What are we going to work on now? Let's do... That's cool, Galen. I'm just always paranoid now that my stream has stopped running, but I can see my router's still going. So, and yeah, thank you again for popping back in. I appreciate it. Let's see, what will I work on next? Maybe these columns here. Now, we could render texture each of these individually, And I think that's going a bit overboard for this model. Again, if you really love texturing and that's what you want to do, hey, go for it. I'm actually not going to do that. I'm going to select each of these columns. I'm just going to go into isolation mode so I can see them a bit better. I'll select the first one. We're in edit poly mode, so I'm just going to attach these all together so they're one object. No problems. Thanks for hosting me again. That's very cool of you. I actually haven't looked into that auto hosting thing that Twitch has got now. I should probably have a read up on that. So yeah, once I finish my stream later in the day, I might have a look at the hosting feature in Twitch, because I know that's pretty new, isn't it? Thank you for hosting me. So we've attached all of our columns here. Let's call them small banister columns. Just going to copy that name. I'm going to exit isolation mode. Now again, we're going to do the same thing. We'll go into our material editor. I'm going to find a texture that I can place down as a base texture, and we're going to use our always trusty old grey texture here. This one. I'm going to assign it to the material. You've noticed that it's not showing up. That's because these aren't UV maps. So we're just going to throw on a basic UV map. Just like that. We might even do a box mapping on this one. Okay. And this is just so it has a color for when we bring it into Mari and start painting over the top of it. So we are going to, about a month old. Okay. Yeah, I didn't think it had been perfected yet. That's why I was a bit hesitant to try it. I'll have a look at it though, because I've noticed it in my settings on Twitch. I just haven't looked that closely at it. How have you found it? Have you found it to be okay to use? Let's see, let's throw an unwrap UVW on. Again, I'm going to turn off map seams because I find it annoying. We're going to go to channel 2. We'll move our UVs across. Open our editor. We're going to select all of our UVs here. And we'll try to put a flatten mapping on this. We'll see how Max copes with it. Yeah, I haven't actually turned it on either. That's why I was not sure whether you'd used it or not. I think probably, like you said, because it's such a new feature, I probably wouldn't turn auto hosting on. I'd do what you've done and do it by manually if you're online. I think it's a better way to go. What render are you working on, Galen? Just waiting to see. I'm watching here whether Max can flatten map this. Sometimes with this sort of geometry it can have a problem. Oh no, I did it fine. Okay. Let's turn off the UVs there. Yeah, I know what you mean. I prefer the personal touch as well. I think it's a better way to go. I'm just going to save our file quickly because we don't want any nasty surprises happening with Max. Auto crashing or anything like that. Once Max has saved the file out, we will do a render to texture, and then we'll take it into Mari and paint it up a little bit. We're going to do the same thing with these columns that we did with these small balcony columns that we did with the square columns beside them. We'll create a variation of maybe 3 textures that will repeat around the outside. This one should be easier to paint up because we don't have to do a lot of variation. We just got to do a dirt pattern variation on 3 or 4 of the texture maps. Okay, Max has saved that out. So let's do a render to texture. We're going to use existing channel 2. We're going to add a diffuse map. Again, because we're texturing up so many of them, I'm going to make it a 2K texture, so 2048 by 2048. Always better to go too big than too small. We'll set our path to the rework folder we've been working in, which is this one here. We'll call it small banister columns, and we'll save it as a target file.tga. Okay, so we have our map channel, our diffuse map, our texture path, and a texture size. We'll continue. All right. Let's close those down. We have our object selected, so I'm just going to go to File, Export, and Export Selected. Again, we're going to export it to our rework folder, and I'm going to call it small banister columns, but I'm going to save it as an OBJ file. I believe that Mari will accept FBX now, but I'm so used to working with OBJ, I tend to stick with that. We'll export. Thanks, Rut or Root? Which one is it? Is it Rut Cabane? Sorry if I mispronounced your name, dude. We've had a few problems with the stream this morning. It's been OBS has been playing up and freezing on me, but we seem to be okay now. What was my inspiration? Actually, it was Dark Souls. Not the latest Dark Souls, the one before that one. Looking at that game and seeing the architecture that they used, and that was what was inspired me to create this one. So I liked all of the overhanging banister work and things that they had in Dark Souls, and that's, yeah, I use that as inspiration to create this. Root. That's what a friend of mine said. I thought it might have been Rut, but you know, he said Brute. So cool. Root it is. Okay, so we've exported our small columns here. We're just saying, oh, okay, Cologne specific. No problem. Well, welcome. Thanks for watching the stream. I appreciate it. I appreciate you following the channel as well. That's very good of you. Just to bring everyone up to speed, I just copied the columns we were working on yesterday, these textured columns, around the outside of the model, so they've all been replaced now with the textured up versions. We've placed a temporary texture on these banisters here, and I'm going to bring them into Mari now and start texturing them up. And I'll do the same thing. I'll create 3 or 4 different variations, and we'll just vary it around the outside. So let's load up Mari. I normally have Mari loaded up, ready to go, but because the stream crashed and I restarted my PC, it closed the program down. Because Mari can just be a little bit slow sometimes to start up. And because the stream, the statues, I partially sculpted them, and it's partially photogrammetry. Let me just jump back into Max. Yeah, so basically the statues are a combination of sculpting and photogrammetry. I must change my website too, because I've just noticed that Nightbot has told you philipfair.com, which is my website, but PhilDoes3D.com is the one that I want people to go to for my Twitch channel. I must remember to change that. So yeah, it's partially sculpted and partially photogrammetry. What I do is I use photogrammetry to get the initial shape of the statue, and then I'll take the statue into ZBrush and sculpt over the top of it, because photogrammetry won't, 9 times out of 10, you won't get a perfect model from photogrammetry. You're going to have to do some work on top of that. So yeah, I'll take it into ZBrush, I'll sculpt out any areas that have been haven't been captured properly, and then I'll take it into Mari and I will do some texture correction and texture touch-up work on the actual model itself. Geez, Nightbot's being a bit prolific. I don't know why it's doing that. Yeah, so that's what I do. It's a combination of sculpting in ZBrush, texture correction in Mari, and photogrammetry. And for photogrammetry, I will use either Agisoft Photo Scan or Bentley Context Capture. Both of them are very good. Thanks. Glad you like it. I've created another statue that I'm going to be placing up on top here, one on either side, because I just think that the model needs a little bit more interest here on the ends. It's just a bit too plain. We have a lot of interest happening in the middle, and these angels here give the model a lot of interest, but I just feel that these end pieces need something. So I'm creating another angel statue, one for either side, that'll be pointing up towards the dome. Once we've done that, and once I finish doing all the texturing work on what we see now, I will bring in the new angels that are pointing towards the dome, and then I'm going to grow ivy over the top of probably her and one of the angel statues on this side, a flowering ivy vine. I'll show you guys what I mean when it comes time for me to do that, probably next week sometime. And that'll look very cool. I prefer to grow the ivy in Max and take it into Eon View and try and use their software to do any of the ivy on the actual models. Because Max is, the plugin I use for Max grows the ivy really well. Koi ponds. You think? Did I do anything with a pond? You know, I don't think I've actually created any of my models with ponds. I was going to do a fountain, and I still probably will do a fountain at some stage. I want to do a very elaborate, large fountain, like the ones you see in Italy, those sculpted up fountains, large fountains. Because I haven't done a fountain. So no, I haven't really done any pond sort of work. I have thought about it though. A lot of my work tends to be, because I've done a lot of work in architectural visualization, they generally want a lot of objects that they can place on the exterior around the building that add interest. And I've done some historic work, so historic buildings. That's probably why I gravitate more towards this sort of modeling. I'm used to doing all of those intricate column work and wrought iron work. Should branch out a bit more though. I haven't done enough car work. I mean, I have one car in my Creative Market store, but yeah, I haven't done a lot of work apart from, I tend to stick to buildings and these intricate, ornate sort of architectural models. But yeah, so once we get the second angels in, once we finish texturing it up, we get the second angels in, then I will use the ivy plugin to grow flowering ivy vines over a couple of the statues and up the side of the wall. And then we can take it into Eon View and render it. Hey! Oh, how do I pronounce your name? Hecon Trolls? You're not a troll, are you, dude? Thanks for joining the channel. Glad to have you here. If you got any questions, anything you're not sure of, feel free to ask in the chat. I'm always happy to talk to you guys in chat. Remember, there is a bit of a delay between when you talk and when you'll hear me reply. I think it's about 30-second delay on Twitch at the moment. I'm not sure what you mean, dude. He controls. Cool, not a troll. That's cool. Like I said, thanks for watching the stream. I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you being in chat and talking to me. It's always nice to talk to you guys. Yeah, 30-second delay. It can be a little annoying. So yeah, if you think I'm ignoring you guys, I'm not. I'm just, there's a 30-second delay between when I see your message and when you hear me reply to you. So yeah, once we get the vines growing on the statues, the flowering vines growing on the statues, we can start exporting the model and importing it into Eon View. And I prefer to do the Ivy work in Max because the plugin is an excellent free plugin, much better than anything I've found that I could use in Eon View. Vue is a great program for doing 3D modeling and 3D environments. I'll just pull up. Let's see. I'll pull up my web page. I think. Go to this one and into my gallery so we can have a bit of a look at some of the work I've done in Vue. Come on. There we go.